It's recording.
Cool, cool. All right, so tell me a little bit about you and what you do and what you're interested in doing here.
Right. Alright. So I've been doing Christian music for like 8 years. Um, when I first started, it was a group of three.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my homeboy named Wolfgang, and then I had another guy. We had another guy there named D. Odin,
Mm-hmm.
and we started the group with making music and stuff. And we came up with the name All About God as a group.
Okay.
But eventually they ended up getting out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just me at that time when they got out. But during the time we were still together, me and Wolfgang would like rap at high school together, and we actually started a Bible study together in high school too with the brand All About God. And people
Cool.
would come and like we would have uh, game days where people just come and play games and eat food.
Okay.
You know, that's always fun.
Nice.
We had like testimony days where people would come and share their testimony, and like um, definitely had some tears up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
For sure.
but I think, the reason why, because I was doing secular music at first,
Mm-hmm.
and I started rapping because my brother was rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up venturing out to Christian music when I decided to give my life to Christ, like fully by myself, because I grew up in church, but I wasn't really into it.
Yeah.
And the friend Wolfgang that I was talking about that I made the group with, he actually invited me to his church like a couple times, like 3 times, but I didn't go until like the third time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, me and my family wasn't going to church. We had stopped going for a period of time because stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up going, and I rode in the church van to the church. And when I got there, I was just like crying the whole time, and I just ended up like walking up to the altar, and I was crying my heart out to God, because I was like, there's so many people out here that need to hear about Jesus and the hope that we have in Him,
Mm-hmm.
and what He can do through us and with us being a part of His family.
Right.
And but I also know that everybody not gonna want to be saved, and just having the aspect of like I want to do what I can to be able to give hope to people and spread the gospel to people, but also knowing that everybody not gonna want to hear it. So just that dilemma.
Right.
And after I had that burden on my shoulders, and I made the decision that I was gonna switch to Christian music, which wasn't like easy.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it ever since 2017. So I stuck with the name All About God. I think I added the No More Suicide part to it, because in high school I was going to do like a concert based on suicide prevention.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to the principal, and I had to get like 100 people to sign up,
Mm-hmm.
and I literally did that in like a day. So I was in there like
Nice.
going to tables asking people like, hey, would y'all be interested? And people were signing up, but we never got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal is with my music is to prevent suicide through the hope of music and spreading the gospel through music, but also through my actions and how I treat people and how I live my life on an everyday basis, and knowing that, I'm not perfect, but at the same time, learning from the mistakes that I make and moving forward, and not being set back by certain things that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
and not looking at myself like, oh man, you just like a screw up and you can't do nothing right, because that's not what God says.
Yeah, it's the enemy getting in you.
Yeah. So my goal is to honestly, build my brand as far as music and have more people to hear my music, but also I want to eventually like get a building
Mm-hmm.
to where I could brand it with All About God, but have people come and like do the Bible study stuff again, but also like have a place where people can come and like be in community with other people, and also have a good time doing that.
Okay.
And
So is there a church you go to currently?
so yeah, me and my wife actually currently attend Real Life Church.
Okay. So the one
Um,
like right around here.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we attend there. We've been going there for like 5 months, but to be real, we only been here for 5 months. So
Right.
yeah,
Where'd you come from?
we came from South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
7 hour and some change drive, but
Right.
it was good. Like before we actually came here, we were trying to figure out what we was gonna do because our apartment lease was up, and we was trying to figure out if we was gonna renew it or not. But her sister and sister's husband actually stayed here before we decided to move, so we ended up moving in with them. But at first it was just to just move in with them to help them save money and stuff. But the closer we got to moving here, God was showing confirmation like all the furniture that me and my wife used to have like in our house and stuff, we literally never seen we had never seen the fact that it said Florida on the back of it the whole time until we started actually moving process of getting here. Yeah. And then also like the night before we actually moved, we had went to the gas station and there was a guy like at the next pump getting gas, and there was these two dudes arguing, and I was like, man, they better stay over there with that. I ain't got time for that. He was like, and he was like, you ain't gotta worry about that. I got the strap in the car. Saying like, I got you if like they try anything. But long story short, we ended up talking, and I was telling him about us moving and stuff, and he ended up handing us 2 crosses, just like to have on the way that, just for us to have as we go and move to Florida. So we kept them in the car, and the night that we actually arrived here, we saw like a cross in the distance, like far away from where we were, but we saw it and it was like lit up, and I was like, that's crazy.
Is that the one in Orlando?
Yeah.
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 I used to go to that school. They were like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's a church with the cross. Like,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, because what are the odds that we literally get crosses and then see one in the distance as we come?
Yeah.
And you know, it's been hard. It's been some things that happened since we've been here that's been hard, but it's also been things where God definitely has been using for His glory and showing that we are in the right place. So right now I'm just working, and then also working on building my brand around the area because I don't know anybody here. So you know, trying to get connected in that way.
Okay. Well, you definitely came to the right place. The pastors here are very like well connected in the community, in the county, not just this county, but like all of Lake County, up north. And there's like a lot of opportunity here within like Christian ministry for it to grow. There's like a lot of growth happening like really fast, especially with us like building the studio, and like by the end of the year, probably having like a full like different place for the recording studio, just completely like closed out. Because right now we have this. He probably showed you.
Yeah, he showed.
Yeah. So and this is cool. It's great. But like moving forward, we're gonna have like more studio locations and stuff like that. So really awesome. Do you have like music?
Yeah. I can rock you on right now.
Bet.
I got a speaker with me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Live? Do you have anything recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
I'm on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all of that.
Okay.
So it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But I definitely like to do it live if I can.
Okay.
Let me see. I got my latest song. Well, I got one coming out soon, but I got a song called Mirror that I made and I put out in January, and I really like that one. Because I actually auditioned for America's Got Talent, and I made that song specifically for that. But whenever I did it, I messed up on the lyrics because I just had made it like not too long before I did the audition, so I messed up and had to do a different song. But I made this song because, you know, in my life, like I was doing certain things like cycle of sin that I repeat and I repent and do it again.
Yeah.
And you know, it make it hard for you to like yourself when you doing that, because you know that you being disobedient to God and you hurting people that surround you in your life, but you still got this sin that's holding you and you haven't been able to get rid of it. So just that constant battle with dealing with a sin continuously, but knowing that unconditional love comes from God, and when you look in the mirror, you know, telling yourself that you're worthy and like that you're special, no matter what flaws you have, no matter what you're going through, you are special and you are amazing to God. And you know, because that's true. That's what God says about us, that He loves us despite of what we do. Now, He don't like the sin that we do, but He definitely still sees us as His child, and He loves us for who we are. But He definitely wants us to fix the problem that we have that's taking us away from Him.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me find this instrumental real quick. Let's see. That one.
Cool. And are these beats you make yourself or that you bought?
So these are ones that I leased, and yeah. But I got a friend that make beats also, and I'm starting to write more with his, so that way when I put it out, I can own like everything and just split the money with him from the money we make off the music.
Right.
Instead of buying it from different people and then having to deal with all that.
Yeah. It's better to have somebody that you're constantly just making music with.
Yeah. So, here we go.
All right.
Yeah. Hey. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I do not like what appears. Having thoughts about myself like, why am I here? Staring at the mirror in silence. Don't have the confidence to talk. Hard putting one foot in front of the other. Needing to fill the void that I have with unconditional love that only comes from above. But I'ma be okay, cause I know who provides. It's the one and only true God. True God. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I do not like what appears. Having thoughts about myself like, why am I here? Staring at the mirror in silence. Don't have the confidence to talk. Hard putting one foot in front of the other. It rains on the just and unjust. The sun rises on the evil, wind on the good. This life I live, I'm not alone in. The thoughts I have, I'm not the only one. Dealing with critical moments, intellectual disabilities. In the mirror, trying to get a grip on me. Remember all the topics I got bullied on. Clothes I wore, the stitches on my stomach. Yeah, I tried to run from telling people I got shot the same cool. Didn't want to get in the booth. I had to keep my shirt on. Looking in the mirror, staring at all my flaws. I have a God that loves me, no matter what a human say. Can't keep running from the truth, facing the reality. When you look in the mirror, start to silence, tell yourself that you're worthy. And that unconditional love comes from God. And your appearance is so special. No matter what flaws you have, the thoughts you have, I pray that He helps take them away. When you look in the mirror, start to silence, tell yourself that you're worthy. And that unconditional love comes from God. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I do not like what appears. Having thoughts about myself like, why am I here? Staring at the mirror in silence. Don't have the confidence to talk. Hard putting one foot in front of the other. Needing to fill the void that I have with unconditional love that only comes from above. But I'ma be okay, cause I know who provides. It's the one and only true God. True God. True God.
That's dope. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vibes. That's cool. So that's your your primary genre, your primary style.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I like that. Cool.
For
All right. So, what do you see yourself doing here, like being a part of this?
So I know I talked to Donnie Right. Yeah, I talked to Donnie on Sunday, and he was telling me about the studio, of course, like being able to come and record and stuff sometimes. And he also told me about him and his wife having like a suicide thing that they do. So honestly, you know, I would love to come and like minister through song and stuff to the church or to the youth or anything like that.
On Sunday nights, and I'm actually the worship leader for our young adults group that we do on Sunday nights. And I would love for you to come through and like perform a song. That'd be super dope. We have a lot of kids. The cool thing about like what our church does is it's in a process of spiritual, like real spiritual growth, but the way it's built is so that the non-believer that wouldn't normally walk into a church feels comfortable here. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like this beginning step, and then once they start like getting to know people and coming more, then their spiritual growth happens. So it starts off with like milk, lots of milk, but the good thing is having people that come here regularly that can pour into the people who aren't getting it out there. A lot of the people that come in here, very messed up backgrounds, and you know, that's what we want. We don't want a bunch of like perfect people hanging out here. Our leadership is very open about struggles that we go through, struggles that they go through. We work together as a family to help each other. And the same thing with this. I don't usually charge people to come and record, especially if they're doing it for the gospel, for the Lord, and to help people. So that's why like this is like a perfect situation. Because we won't charge you, but it'd be awesome for you to come in and be able to perform some songs. We could have some nights where we have studio sessions and chord music. The cool thing about like this is like a studio session we can get done in like 4 hours. It'd probably take me like maybe 3 hours to mix and master it, like so records could just kind of like be coming out, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing that I do with the worship stuff is like I gotta record drums, I gotta record guitars, I gotta record this, all these vocalists. It's a huge mixing process, but this is kind of like where you could just come in here and like you can have a song ready after 2 sessions, which is ideal. That's how I like to like build my beat, make it, get in the studio, record, done. So that's cool. That's very awesome.
That'd be amazing, because like right now I got my laptop and microphone at home, and that's been working. It's been working. But like you said, you know, being able to come and drop the song and then get it mixed and mastered and have more songs being able to come out more and consistently more. Because with what I do now, it's like I gotta wait a period of time, because I gotta wait to get the money to do it, to send it off, and then I gotta do all that. So I definitely
that's definitely like my passion too, is like being able to help people with that, because I remember growing up in the industry and having to do the same thing. Like I would throw down like $400 in a session just to know that like they're not even gonna mix it, they're not gonna master it, nothing. That was just for the recording session. Really? Dang. So I had to learn everything. I grew up as an independent artist, very young, started in the industry. I don't know if he's told you anything about my background, but I was very close with a lot of people in the industry, went really far. And I don't know if you ever heard of like secret societies in the music industry. Got to that point. Holy Spirit heavily started coming into my life at that point. I wasn't a Christian at all. I was very in the world, very secular. But I grew up with a Christian background. So I had mamas that were praying for me, you know what I'm saying? Had that whole thing. Mama's praying for me, grandma's praying for me, everybody's praying for me, because I'm like that crazy wild child. And before I decided to make any decisions, because I was going to make decisions that wouldn't have been able to reverse. And Holy Spirit said, if you do this, you're never going to come back to me. So I made a decision. I was in Atlanta at the time. I left, came home. After about 11 months, God wrecked me. Here I am. You know, a year later. But so very much just want to make music that glorifies the Lord and brings people to Him. And so what we're doing here, it's nothing like, I haven't officialized anything because I really hate contracts. I went through a lot over those years, from 13 to about 26, of just nonsense in the industry, people taking advantage. I had to pay out different labels for contracts and just different things like that. So like, won't make you sign anything, won't take your money, but because we're having you record here, it'd be really dope if you could release some singles underneath our name. Okay. So what I'm gonna be doing is, I had this idea of like, I don't know if you see certain groups like Blessed Music, they're like R&B, hip hop for the most part. Yeah, and they just release people's music, but their name is always attached to it. So with everybody who I have just kind of like recording, it's like, you know, everything is yours. Right. The same track that we even use for that, you can go ahead and release it separately. But it'd be cool to just kind of have everybody who's recording out of New Wave come out of the New Wave music, you know, artist page and stuff, and be able to promote it. And anything that we do that way too, we'll also be doing the music videos for promotion.
So y'all do that too?
Getting there.
Okay.
Still in the beginning steps, but since I learned all this stuff as an independent artist, working with labels, building up, we managed Lil Scrappy for a little while, Lil Vicky. I was working with Alessia Cara on a separate note. I was helping her with vocal production and just different people that I've been able to work with that I learned a lot from, like, working with them. You know what I'm saying? I learned that whole background thing of like what to do, what not to do, how you release music, how you boost ads, how you manipulate trends and stuff like that. So I'm just now kind of getting started with building the studios and creating a label, so to speak, but not really a label, because that ain't what I want to do. I just want to release music and see what happens. And then if it does gain some traction with the artists we already have, then we'll start making some changes, some ideas of like, okay, this is kind of getting somewhere, it's becoming monetized now. Okay, now how do we make this a thing? We also have another producer, his name's Austin. He doesn't come here as regularly because he's all the way in, like, I don't know if you ever heard of Umatilla, but it's all the way up there. It's about an hour and some change up north. So he comes usually on Sunday nights if he does come. It'd be really cool for him to get involved too. Great mixing engineer. Great all-around music theory type artist. And his production style is a bit more digital, but he's also versatile, so he can kind of do different things. For me, I've kind of worked in every genre. I was in a touring rock band. I produced music for R&B, hip hop, rock, and pop. That was like my main genres. And I was in a girl group. So like, you know, the whole range of things. Now I can take it to the studio and be like, okay, I get what we're supposed to do here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I love to like hear some of the stuff you produce. Cool. We can set up in the studio real quick.
Alright.
I got about